And we are
Live.
Welcome back to the Impact Money Show. It's been a minute.
It has.
David.
It's been good. Long ride.
Long ride. Good to see you here. We have a exciting show today. And what an interesting time that we have as well. You know, here we are, right? In the throes of what looks to be the start of World War III. I was a little worried. We're not going to have an economy, but the truth is we are going to have an economy. It's just going to be a war economy.
Of course, the money has been having a huge influx into that direction, and the defense industry is booming. And I can't wait for things to settle down over there and people to stop getting wasted. And the sooner the better, because then the money can go back into the good stuff.
The money goes back into the good stuff. I always say people around here in the Washington, D.C. area are making a killing people. And that's not what you want. We have a great lineup this morning. Of course, the UN Blockchain Week has really opened up a lot of different things, the conversations with different people, really amazing people. We have, of course, Menon, our good friends. He's the CEO of Mindwave DAO, doing some really interesting stuff. We're going to talk about that. We have as well Adam Reiser. Adam Reiser, he's the CEO of Made in America Inc. or Made in the USA Inc. And then, of course, we have also Ryan Graham with Blockchain Kids. And he's going to talk about getting your book into different schools around the area. So that's super exciting. All right, so we did start a couple of minutes late, so let's go ahead and kick off with my main man here, Menon. Let's bring Vin on.
Sure. Are we in the same room here? In demo. Bring them in.
You got to send me that link.
All right.
Okay, we're live. So putting this thing together, of course, with all the new stuff is pretty cool. Guys, I'm going to send you a new link right now. Got it. First to our main man, Mr. Vin. Vin, hop in here. Vin. Okay, and Ryan, here you go, and Adam, here you go. Please switch rooms. Okay.
Dr. Vin, great to see you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hi,
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Well, what an exciting thing that you guys have going on. It's you're changing the way that treasury assets are managed. You're changing the way people are moving in and out of ad tech. You're also New York Stock Exchange. I mean, talk to us a little bit about this. Give us an update.
Okay, so you very well know that we started our journey around 2.5, 3 years back. And right now, where we are already rolled out our Mindwave DAO, and also for bringing in credibility and the public market, we have already reverse merged with one of the New York Stock Exchange listed company. Currently, the ticker is APUS, and we are waiting for the merger to complete, and the ticker will be customized to Mindwave. And so we are bringing in one side the public market credibility. On the other side, we are also launching our layer 2 blockchain, which is called MindChain. And MindChain is the world's first fully reinsured blockchain. So that means any assets, whether it is RWA, whether it is ad tech, whether it is climate tech or insurtech, any kind of assets which we are minting or creating in our blockchain will be fully underwritten by credible insurance and reinsurance platforms like Lloyd's of London syndicates and so on. So that's a kind
Really?
of institutional grade layer 2 blockchain is what we are launching. And the native coin for that is going to be Nila, which currently in BEP, we are already listed in a couple of exchanges. And today is a big day where we are going to list in next 5 minutes in one of the US regulated exchange, where we can actually get users from 48 states in US to come in. And so that's where we are right now. And exciting day for us.
It is an exciting day. So we'll come back live as the trading opens. I'm going to bring now on Adam Reiser.
Very nice.
And we'll be right back with you, Dr. Vin.
All right.
Hello there, Mr. Reiser. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. We got you should see our studio that we have here. We've done this Impact Money show all over the world. It's good to get things going here as we lead into UN Blockchain Week and what I think is going to be a really successful few months. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on with Made in the USA.
Well, we also did a merger onto a public company. We're not in New York Stock Exchange, but we're on the OTC. Our stock symbol is USDW. But there's a lot going on here. I've been doing this for 27 years, so we're like a 27-year overnight success. Here we are. The U.S. Department of Agriculture and HHS has come out with some new rules and regulations on Product USA. That used to be a marketing claim, and it's called a country of origin labeling requirement. Now it's actually a federal claim. So if you go astray, the fines are kind of a little nuts now. So
oh wow,
yeah, it's like it starts at $7,000 per instant. So I mean, it could really wipe someone out. But they're, as I call it, they're lying bastards. Okay, so and here we are validating. We have for small farmers. I mean, geez, sorry.
Well, that's one of the things I was talking to your son about, which nod to Adam Reiser Jr. Doing a great job. Let me add
an echo
here. Yeah, so the audio is better. But so companies now are mandated, and you're saying that with a $7,000 charge, if they claim to be made in the USA and they don't have the documentation that you guys are providing.
Exactly. So it's if they use the claim, they don't have to, but of course there's a strategic value of having stuff produced and stuff here. We're just talking about the Product of USA claim. If you look at the top one, we see here, I don't know if you can see it's backwards. I don't know because it's like a reverse audio, reverse video here. But Product USA is actually a marketing. It used to be a marketing claim. Now it's a federal claim. So when they request your documents, you have 24 hours to produce them, and you can't make them up. You have to already have them produced. So what we did is we took a look at our normal audit is get on board is like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $9,000. We created a scholarship for the little guy. So we wiped out all the audit fees. We reduced their monthly recurring fee from $240 to $120, and we're just onboarding little guys. So we're trying to help the farmers, and we figure with our first 10,000 will be a donation and a scholarship to about $85 million to little guys. That's not government, that's us from our company going over and providing that the value to the little guys.
Well, that's really something else. And you've been working on this for quite a while. So it, like you said, an overnight success, after all these years. Talk to us a little bit about what you've done and introduce yourself and your experience.
Well, we had a magazine a long time ago. I had a non-compete, so I couldn't compete in the technology industry for like 15 years. And I was a domainer, and I had to look through my domains, and I made USA.net. I'm like, okay, so what am I going to do here? And so came up with a magazine called Made USA Magazine, and we were writing about manufacturers. That's when NAFTA and CAFTA was coming out, and all 300,000 manufacturing jobs got, 300,000 manufacturers, not jobs, millions of jobs got outsourced to Mexico, Canada, China, and wherever the rest of the world. And we started writing about, say, hey, we need manufacturing here. And I met with Bush and Condoleezza Rice in the White House, and they said, no, we're going to be in the service business. I said, that ain't going to work. So look what it did now. It hollowed out the middle class. So anyway, basically, what we did is when we're writing about them, we found out there were people lying. They were just bringing stuff in, warehouse, and then just slapping, made USA, it was from China. They were just relabeling. So some of the people were writing about says, why don't you investigate these guys? So we did the investigation. So we started doing a verification process. And then one of the guys says, why don't you just certify us? So we've been doing that ever since.
That is something else. So where do you, obviously we're going to be at a UN Blockchain Week together. What is your next, 6 weeks look like, 5 to 6 weeks look like as we lead into that?
We're heading to Nashville today, presenting in Nashville. Our UN, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on our certification process, but for nutrient credits and oysters. So we have a big platform. Blockchain is we use XRP, Ripple XRPL for the public chain, and Hyperledger on the back end. And we do have a token. It's called USDWA. It's been minted since 2017. That's our internal currency. But we're all blockchained up. We're pretty good at blockchain. It's a tool. Everybody's like, ooh, it's a tool. So it's an anchor. We use trusted platform modules. We do attestations. We know who signed the documents, where they were signed from. Now people can scan their UPC barcodes and find out where everything comes from. So our rollout in the next couple weeks is going to be made in USA for all the farms, and then our UN blockchain is going to use their same technology to clean the world's waters. We started in Chesapeake Bay, in the Delaware River. We're in the Hudson River now. We're in Long Island Sound. We're in Hong Kong, Singapore, we're in the Dubai. We're in the UK. So that's 10,000 oysters. Creates one nutrient credit. It's not like a who thing. If you put oysters in water, 3 days later you'll see it cleans up the water. It's not like a plant a tree and someday it's going to take some carbon out. So nutrient credits is to water. Carbon is to like air. So, we need clean water, but our focus right now is made in USA, all the same technology. It's just that at a different application, and I think the UN blockchain and the push that you guys are doing it's amazing. So, for the United States, it made USA, product USA, and the rest of the world, what we're doing, we do country of origin, but we're focusing on cleaning the world's waters.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I know Adam has been a fixture as well with Crypto Mondays. I'm going to bring on Dr. Vin Menon again. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks.
Hello, Dr. Menon.
Hey, hi, Proto Brothers. How are you? Nice to see you again.
So now we have entered into trading, I believe, right?
Right, I can see that. It just started. I don't
Great.
know.
So tell us a little bit about this. This is the US launch of the Nila token. On what platform? Tell people how they can plug in.
Okay, great. So anyone from US 48 states, they can go to vbot.com and they can register themselves, complete the KYC process, and they will be able to buy or sell or trade Nila tokens. And it's like one of the fully regulated FinCEN registered and money transmit license across 48 states. So,
and this is the platform.
Yes,
the
that's
exchange.
a platform. Yes.
And what's the URL for that?
vbot.com.
Okay. Amazing.
You want that? Yeah. So anyway, they can also visit our socials so that I can see, and it just started. I can see some green candles and going on. So yes.
Amazing. If you would like, you could share your screen.
Yeah.
If you would like.
Okay, I don't mind. Let me try to see.
So one of the things that, of course, people run into with exchanges in the US and trying to get different tokens and everything else is that they're not available to them. And so it's important that you have something like this.
Yes. So I'm just trying to share my screen, Nila price chart. Okay. So yes, it started, right. So it's currently trading at close to 8 cents.
Great.
So yes, so finally we are in US market. And it was always a challenge for generic crypto companies to come into US market because of the regulation, which is actually also the the best way to manage the token value as well. And we are having targets like from now onwards until December, every month we will be listing in one exchanges. So the next target is going to go to a Korean exchange and also going to an Indian exchange over the next three to 4 months.
Awesome. So talk to me. One of the most interesting things that, and we've talked a lot about, a lot of interesting things over the years, is this ad tech that you've been talking about. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so AdTech is actually a platform created on a Torn network on Telegram, where I'm sure we all seen that the hamster compact kind of a platform, right? So it is something similar to that, where the tap to earn concept, which is engagement to credits, is being created, and based on the tap to earn, they are collecting the credits, and that credits can be converted into Nila token. And basically, when you're getting it converted, you're actually being part of the engagement of the ad tech platform, where you are going to be engaged with the ad providers. So that's exactly what this tap to earn platform goes. And if you watch the ad, if you you be part of this engagement, you start collecting Nila tokens. So that's an ad tech platform, and slowly that will move out to multiple UN SDG goals. So currently we are activating only the goal which is related to climate action, which is part of our climate tech platform. And slowly that will be increased to multiple other SDG goals.
Very cool. Well, we're looking forward to welcoming you guys again to UN Blockchain Week. We're going to come back to Dr. Vin Menon in a few minutes here. Just give a little recap after a little bit more trading happens on WeBot.
That's right.
You can head over there, get some of it now. Talk to you soon, Dr. Vin.
Thanks, Proto Brothers.
Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2-bit exchange?
Yeah, that's... Okay, I'm not sure if that had audio. It's supposed to have audio. Nobody heard that, though. Okay, so we're going to move on. I have with us here Ryan Graham. Ryan Graham. So now I'll just do a little introduction, because what Ryan's doing is pretty interesting. And I didn't really understand it at first. And so I really had to talk to him, as we do when we're putting these things together. And he says, Bruce, if you have a book, or if somebody has a book that they want to sell, which of course, if you wrote a book on AI, or if you wrote a book on blockchain or this and that, then what you want to do is get that book into the schools. What is one of the main ways that people influence the younger generations? And what is that, guys? It's textbooks. It's the curriculum in school. This is so important. And so once I understood what he was doing, I said, okay, this is pretty awesome. So let's bring him on here. Ryan Graham. Hello, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, Bruce. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you.
Amazing. Well, it's good to have you on the show. We're excited to have you at UN Blockchain Week as well. It's going to be pretty amazing. So talk to us a little bit. You got a couple of different things, happening. Talk to us a little bit about Blockchain Kids LLC and how this will work for, you can take it out of the box, actually.
Okay, so Blockchain Kids LLC was built for the family. So it's a family company, and it's a publishing company at the same time. So what we're looking to do, after looking at going into the schools, see what is taking place, I realize, and then being on the investment side for blockchain, I realized that there was a huge gap. Right. So we have like, even for, say, Colorado, one superintendent overseeing, 850 kids. And then in the United States, there's only like, 13% of the United States is involved in crypto. So after looking at blockchain itself, so after looking at the different sides of things, I realized that something needs to be created to get to the teachers, the parents, and get to the kids, so that they can understand what the fourth industrial revolution will do or affect them.
Interesting. And so that you talked about a little bit about, what brought you to this point. Then how is it rolling out? How is everything being received?
So what we do now is that we're working with different companies. We're working with one company now that has about 90 schools, right?
Wow.
Here in New York, right? They deal with aftercare, they deal with trips, and I wanted to create a proper platform so that we can, instead of these kids going to museums on their school trips, they'll be able to go to like Coinbase headquarters or some blockchain company that they can learn about, right? So we can have the exposure for the children so that they know, okay, well, and this is what I want to do. Not, this new generation, they're not looking to be police officers and going to the military. They're more entrepreneurs. They want to do things. They're movers and shakers. Yeah.
Well, that's true. The economy has totally changed. I mean, people, either the 9-to-5 job for 20 or 30 years, retire, everything else is much smaller than the opportunity is much smaller than it used to be. So people are having to reinvent themselves.
That's correct. So what we're looking to do is to merge the crypto companies. Anyone that's out there that has created a book, they come onto our platform, and then we work with the different companies to be able to get their books into the schools, right? So we're not looking to distribute 1 and 2 books. So say like, for instance, I've done a blockchain book for careers, right? So the blockchain book for careers, we need we need AI, we need robotics, we need cybersecurity, we need these professionals that have created their books to be able to get it to the different children in the schools that are interested in that field.
All right, well, there you go, folks. You heard it here first. Our man, Ryan Graham, please share your website. How do people get a hold of you? Make sure, guys, when you contact them to get your books published, that you let them know that the Porter Brothers sent you.
That is correct. So they can get in touch with us. They can go to our website, right? www.blockchainkidsusa.com, right? And at the bottom, they will be able to see our email, can email me, and they can get me on LinkedIn. All the information is there. And, we need followers on our Twitter page. So if you could follow us and we can update you. So far, one of our books was given to base blockchain CEO.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah.
So he has one of our books, right? But we're covering all ends. We're covering all the way from pre-K all the way to the adult.
Amazing.
So there's different things that we're doing all at the same time.
All right. Well, Ryan, thanks so much for coming on. Of course, we'll be talking a bit later. Cheers.
All right. Thank you.
Next up, we have my main man, Matt Dixon. Matt has not been on for a while. We haven't been on for a while. I see him here in the queue up. Sir Matt, how are you? Matt, can you hear us? Oh, yeah, I don't have audio. You're gonna have to check. Is he not? Let's make sure he's not muted. Oh, he's muted. Unmute. Now talk. Talk again. Why can't we hear him in our thing?
Yeah, it's strange.
Strange. All right. Well, there is audio, so let's go ahead and lead off. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on in these crazy markets right now.
You say there's audio. Can you actually hear me? Yeah.
Now I can. You're in our ear. I don't know why it wasn't there, but now you are.
Okay, cool. I mean, these are erratic markets, but you've got to bear in mind it's all pretty much in context with what we expected. You look at Bitcoin halving cycles, and I didn't used to be a believer in these halving cycles, but they're quite accurate. They've worked out halving cycle. You get a low point in the market. I mean, on average, I think it's somewhere around 850-ish days, somewhere around 850 days after the halving, you get a low point in the market. Now, if we project that forward now, you'll expect a low in the market Q4, probably somewhere around October, November. I'm looking at Elliott Wave. As you know, I've been following markets for 40 years or so now. You can see by the gray hair. But yeah, I've been following markets very closely and expecting this low in the market. The Elliott Wave cycle's following it through perfectly. We're definitely in the correction. If you look at, trend is your friend, we are clearly in a downtrend from that all-time high on Bitcoin around the 125,000-ish area all the way down. We've had lower lows and lower highs all the way. And that hasn't changed yet. So until we actually get a change in this trend, we can't really start thinking about going long in the market. And we are still expecting further lows in the market. You look at Elliott Wave. Now, if you allow me, am I able to share my screen for a moment? If I just share my screen?
Yep, go for it.
Okay, hopefully. I'm not sure whether you can see. Oh, it's taking time.
Once you share it, then I have to add it, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
But I don't see it yet.
You might see it, hopefully.
There you are. I got you. Here we go.
Yeah, I've got something I created. As you know, I've been at this for years. I've got a master's degree. I've, explored and, a lot of research into market lows, highs, what affects markets, looking for exceptions, really, try to make some profitable trades. So I created something called the perfect storm. This takes into account, you can probably see, I hope you can see on the right, all the things I take into account. Now, what's interesting about this is, if you look at a lot of these indicators, they're single indicators on their own. I've taken into account so many different factors, but taking into account sentiment and inflation and oil prices and geopolitical tensions and the US dollar and liquidity and multiple things. And I've actually used AI because I think I heard you mention briefly before about AI. Obviously, we want to harness the power of AI. So rather than create my own weightings, I'm using AI to dynamically weight these different factors. So it gives you quite an accurate. It's not to actually pick a top or a bottom in the market, but it's to give you the environment, the sort of weather conditions in the market at the time for the time being. So as of today, we've got a reading of 57. That's above 50. 50 would be balanced. 57 is saying there's elevated market pressure. That's not to say things are going to go down all of a sudden, but it's just telling you to be a little bit careful when you're taking your trade. So whatever system you try to use for your trading, it's good to know the background, overall weather conditions, what's likely to happen. And that's why I called it the perfect storm. Obviously, the perfect storm would be serious crash conditions when this dial moves right over to near to 100. And that could even be used as a contrarian indicator. As we know, in times past, when there's been absolute panic in the market, like the COVID crisis, various crises and crashes we can remember, that would be when this indicator is right over to the right. And that's probably contrarian then when it goes too far. But at the moment, it's above the 50. It's telling you to be cautious in the market. So don't go jumping in with massive long positions. Just be a little bit careful. And that's really what it's trying to tell you. There is no indicator out there that can actually tell you precisely what's going to happen into the future. You need to be a fortune teller to do that. And we can't tell it. We can't, unfortunately. But we can look at these indications that tell you just the background environment, whether it's sensible to go seriously long, to go short, or just to be cautious, whatever it is. So using my systems, I did pinpoint.
And what URL is this for people?
Sorry?
And what URL is this at so people can access it?
Oh, okay. I actually publish this every day on my X feed on Twitter at MD Trade. So every morning around 8 a.m. UK, so that's very early for you guys, I post an update to this perfect storm index. As I say, it's for free. It actually took a lot of money to put this together, and there's constant AI goes into it to validate it. So just, you can imagine, for example, during COVID, then that was a particular factor that had a massive impact. And so you have to have a dynamic weighting. You can't have all these weightings equal or fixed. So sometimes if there's geopolitical issue, if President Trump has just bombed Iran or something, clearly there's going to be some repercussions from that. And so that particular element, the geopolitical element, would be much higher, would have an higher impact. And so AI takes all this into account and actually calculates what level of impact each of these factors should have. So at the moment, for example, sentiment is actually reasonably positive. It's actually above 50, it's at 55. So maybe there's even a bit of complacency in the markets, but that being the case, things aren't altogether negative. Bitcoin dominance is high. That's actually, for me, is a little bit of a negative influence regarding where altcoins might go. So if you've got BTC dominance, that's shown as a bit of risk in the market. People are jumping to the big safe haven within crypto, which is Bitcoin. So you've got real Bitcoin dominance. So this is another factor. And what I did, I researched all the factors that I believe had the most impact on the market. So going back to the markets, I think that we're still in turbulent times. I don't think things are resolved yet in the Middle East. Of course, they're not. They're not resolved yet with Ukraine, Russia, and this has been bubbling along in the background for such a long time. But we may be coming to a head reasonably soon, possibly in the Middle East, and that could cause us or bring us this market low that we're possibly projecting. The Bitcoin halving cycle is projecting around Q4, as I say, maybe October, November-ish time. And that will be the time that I'll be looking, and I'm going to be publishing on my X feed at MD Trade. I'm going to be publishing my 10 favorite stocks, well, not stocks, cryptos. And I'll be looking at, AI tokens, for example, which might have tremendous potential. And these things change over time. Our favorites of last year won't be our favorites for next year. So when we do get a turnaround in the markets, clearly Bitcoin will be a good safe haven, but that's when you get the Bitcoin dominance falling and you get the altcoins jumping ahead. And that's when you need a bit of guidance on perhaps which altcoins are going to perform better. Same with all the markets. I mean, I actually read the other day that NASDAQ has just dipped into bear market territory. I think Sorry,
Well,
what were you saying,
I
Bruce?
think that you know, kind of lining up with what you're saying, and this is what I've been saying for quite a while, especially even with this event coming up in September, UN Blockchain Week. I think that actually the next few months or couple months, we may have some relatively decent markets, but then after that, after the United Nations General Assembly meeting, after the midterms, unfortunately, I'm agreeing with your prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I really, can't stress enough that nobody can predict, because you get real experts on both sides of the market predicting down, some predicting up. And that's why I've created this Perfect Storm Index, just to try and give you a flavor of where markets are, to try to provide a proper risk backdrop to help you make proper risk-reward trades. You've got to balance the risk against the reward. So at the moment, risk is slightly elevated. This is my general rough Elliott wave look at things. As I say, from the top up here in the middle at the top, the all-time high for Bitcoin, it does look corrective. We can actually count so far 7 waves down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We actually have overlap here with the X wave here overlapping this. So overlapping tells you it's corrective. 7 is a corrective number. So that's telling you, and it's actually quite good, at the moment, the market appears to be in a corrective move to the downside. Now, why that's a good thing, when we eventually get the all-time low, and hopefully that will be in 11 waves total, but when we eventually get that all-time low, then we should actually rise to a new all-time high above the previous Bitcoin all-time high. So I think that we're probably going to get a further shakeout in the Middle East. And following that shakeout, I do expect there's going to be a major peace process that's going to bring peace to the region. And with that peace process, I actually think there's going to be oil prices will obviously come down. Oil is one of the things affecting inflation. Just imagine if oil price were to come down substantially, then all these inflation pressures will go away. That will then allow the Fed to reduce interest rates. That will release liquidity into the market, and that will actually pump asset prices. So whilst, as I say, I think we're set maybe for some more turmoil coming in the near future for markets. Can't say exactly when, but according to the halving cycle, as I say, we might get a low around October, November. But following that, I think conditions are going to look really good. And as I say, I think we're going to get inflation down, liquidity in the markets, geopolitical stability. All those things adding together will give us the perfect storm, but to the good side, to the upside. And I'll be looking for Bitcoin to rise, as I say, to new all-time highs. But that's when Bitcoin dominance would drop and the altcoins would accelerate way past. And there's some great AI tokens out there. Nia protocol is one. Tau is another.
Just tell me when to go 100x long.
Absolutely. So diversification is always key to investment. So I'll be looking to provide a list of 10 of the best. And if we can get in around a market low around there, there'll be a contrarian indication. And we'll look at the Elliott wave. We'll look at all the different factors and we'll jump into the market. Obviously, only putting money that you don't need to spend tomorrow to survive whatever. But if you can jump in at these sort of levels, and if we do get that rally that we're looking at, then, it can actually be life-changing for people. And as you know, Bruce, I know you follow my stuff a little bit, and you're probably aware I did signal that it's going to be an all-time high around this level. I said that there's going to be some negativity in the market, and that's exactly what we've seen in terms of crypto, and that's really what I focus on most of all. But as I say, I'm projecting, it's not an absolute prediction, but I'm projecting a low around this time, and I think it's going to be an amazing investment opportunity that we can all take hold of.
So I'm going to switch now to Dr. Vin Menon. Really good to see you again, Matt, and let's have you on again. Guys, make sure to follow Matt. He's at Dr. Trade, as I always used to say. MD Trade on X. He is active over there. Matt, we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks, David. Thanks, Bruce. All the best. See you soon.
Cheers. So let's check in with Dr. Vin Menon. Sir, how are things going? How is the trading going?
Yes.
Talk to us.
I can see that there are quite a lot of activities started. I'm just watching it. It's trading at around roughly 11 cents, which is 40% up from the trading price. with a couple
Oh,
of
wow.
cows. So not bad, actually. A good start. But as usual, the utility coins are not supposed to be a pump and dump coins. It's a long-term value creation coin.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, you always want to say that,
Let
right?
me
Because
just share
there
the screen.
are opportunities
Yeah.
for big gains, but also, you know,
Yes,
yeah,
right.
these are long
You can see
term.
my screen now?
Let me add you to here again. Oh, wow, look at that green candle.
Yeah, so it's almost 12 cents trading when we launched around 7.58 cents. A couple of thousands.
Wow. David,
Not
you
bad.
got our bag, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to seeing you guys. Actually, we'll see you this week. We'll be up in New York. I know we have some really special events going on during UN Blockchain Week. I don't know what we can talk about or not talk about, but
Okay,
probably
so
not
why
much.
don't we?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
let's get. I'm looking forward to meeting both of you in New York, and let's discuss further. Exciting times.
all right, sounds good, guys. Look at that chart. That's really happening. Give us one more time, Dr. Vin. How do people find the token? Where are they trading it? Where do they find more about APUS Pharmaceuticals, which is the mother company?
That's right. So our website is mindwavedao.com. You want to put the link below. And also the exchange is called vbot.com, and only US residents can log in.
Mindwavedao.com. That's DAO, mindwavedao.com. Trading on Webot, WEBOT. And you can see the action there in the background. So that's really moving. Congratulations, Vin, on a successful launch.
You. Sure.
And we look forward to seeing you in New York City.
All right. Looking forward.
Okay. Cheers. So Dr. Vin, he was one of the first guys who ever even sponsored one of our events like 10 years ago, David.
Yep. That was great.
Dr. Vin and I, we met each other in Singapore. And I said, hey, you should come over. We're going to do our very first Washington Elite AI and Blockchain Summit. Of course, back then, everyone said, why do you have AI and blockchain? And I'm like, trust me, these things are together, okay? But Dr. Vin came over, and he brought a crew. And honestly, we've been working together on and off, but ever since. Really smart guy, UPenn, MBA, like all that stuff. He's a real guy and knows how to put these things together. Well, guys, really appreciate everybody tuning in, coming on. We're going to do this again. We'll have our little bit of the new technology that gave us some challenges. We'll have that stuff ironed out. But, you know, when you do a live show, it's always, you know, things can happen on live.
For sure. It's fun to be live, though.
We have enjoyed talking to really so many smart people over the last month or two as we put together the speakers and the sponsors and the partners for UN Blockchain Week. Everybody just know that that is really something that it is a delight. It's a delight to deal with such smart people. I remember when we were going around the world back in the early days, I used to look at David and we were interviewing some of these people and I was like, gosh, man, these people are really smart. But you elevate, right?
Likely, yeah.
So it is real pleasure. We'll be up in New York this week as well. If people want to meet, just let us know. We will be on a tight schedule, but we will try to make room for everybody. And we're signing off.
Fantastic.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.